Were you aware, pioneers, in ancient pagan traditions, rabbits, also known as hares, were associated with powerful goddesses, mystery, and magic? The lunar cycles of the moon, fertility of life, longevity of life, and rebirth of life. Rabbits and hares were believed to be messengers from the realm of the great goddess herself, moving by moonlight between the human world and the spirit world. In some places, she is the great goddess herself. In others, he is also androgynous, sometimes appearing in male form. The male aspect appears most often as a trickster figure, like Hermes, Loki, and Mercury. In Egyptian mythology, hares were associated with the moon. Hare-headed goddesses and gods could be seen on temple walls. The female is the Weenet, goddess of fertility and new birth, while the male represents the Lord of Death and Rebirth, Osiris, the son of Isis, the goddess of wisdom and magic. In Greek mythology, the hare represents love, abundance, and fertility. Hares were associated with Artemis, goddess of the wild places, and Artemis would not permit young hares to be sacrificed as some demanded, but left to her protection, and were considered sacred to Hermes, the trickster messenger of the gods for the Greeks. Rabbits were also sacred to Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and carvings of rabbits eating grapes and figs appear on both Greek and Roman tombs, symbolizing the transformative cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in this matrix and galaxy as we get ready to kick off another episode of the Daily Candle Close News and talk about Easter, also called Pascha in Arabic, Greek, and Latin, or also known as Resurrection Sunday, celebrated on the first Sunday following the Paschal full moon in April, or Apru, the month of Venus, or Aphrodite, the month of love. So very important. Something we're going to be talking about. A celebration that happens every year and is celebrated tomorrow on Easter Sunday, a Christian festival and cultural holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus from the dead, described in the New Testament as having occurred on the third day of his burial following the crucifixion of the Sadducees and Pharaohs at the time, what is now known as the Roman Catholic Church. So very important. We're going to deep dive into this tradition today. Others call it Eostre, Ostara, okay, the Anglo-Saxon pagan goddess, where this comes from the great work of the invulnerable Bede. And this is really the only true factual data that we have predating Easter today to the Anglo-Saxons, was the work of the Vulnerable Bede, a little one paragraph talking about the month of April and how it is celebrated, Easter. So very important. So we'll go ahead and start off with a little decode and see that Easter gives us that 68, which is again tying us into Hermes, giving us that same 68, 32 as above, so below to the 23, and the same 94 in reverse ordinal. Hermes, known as the trickster god in Greek mythology, very similar to the Roman mythological god Mercury, both known as the god of messengers, trickery, luck, etc., commerce, the finance realm that we work and run today. So very important that we just make these connections. That 40 we got in Easter easily ties us to, again, Mercury. giving us that same 40 in reduction. So we'll put that down there as well. Just wanted to start out this decode right there, tying it back to the mythological gods. This is a celebration they tie to this Jesus Christ character, giving us that same 40 as well. And even though we don't know the true date of his quote-unquote resurrection, we just know it was to be sometime during the Passover, giving us 49, and Easter is celebrated this year on 4/9, April 9th, tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and leave that down there as well. So very important that we just make these connections. We do know that Easter Sunday is tomorrow, where you will have all our kids out there celebrating, giving us that same 40 as well. We'll put that down there. That 44 that ties us into what is also known as Pascal, or Pascal, after the full Pascal moon. But Pascha, Easter, Latin, Greek, Arabic, giving us that same 44, and 73 as Easter Sunday. So pretty important that we make these connections, because this is tying us back into the land of Israel, where the Passover is a 7-day, sometimes an 8-day. This year will be an 8-day celebration, going from April 5th to the 13th. Some believe it's the end on the 12th this year. Hopefully this clears up any confusion out there. This year it will be an 8-day celebration, and it is practiced by the Jews in Israel. So very important. Israel also giving us that same 44 in numerology, but it is really the land of Isis, Ra, and El. Okay, 3 gods: the sun god, El, Saturn, and Isis, the moon god. Okay, so very important, giving us that 124. That 124 is tying us into the Tower of Babel, giving us that same 124 and 52. That 52 is important because we are in the Chinese New Year this year, which is the year of the rabbit. Rabbit giving us that same 52. So very important. 5225. This is happening during the month of Apru, or Aphrodite, or Venus. Apru and Venus giving us that same 52 and 25 connection. So very important that we pay attention to this month. Alright, and Easter coming up tomorrow, celebrated on 4/9. This month transitions us into Taurus, the bull, the zodiac. Taurus. Taurus giving us that same 44 as well in numerology. So making some pretty interesting connections. Some of you might be wondering why I'm tying the Tower of Babel and Israel in to this decode today about Easter, because right now we are getting, during the Passover, news about Israel and bombings. Dozens of rockets launched as Passover begins. Israel launches launches airstrike into Gaza and Lebanon. Car ramming terror attack leaves 1 dead and several injured in Israel. Isis, Ra, and El. Okay, so the land of the Jews, all during Passover as we get ready to celebrate Easter. We're seeing more distractions during April, the month of distractions, something we prepared you for. Don't be a fool in the month of April, because something foolish will happen in April. So very important that we just pay attention to this time period. Another name for Easter is Halamid, probably pronouncing that wrong, but when we copy and paste that, we're going to get some pretty important connections as well. So let's do that as well, giving us that same 44. Okay, this 48, today is 4/8 when I'm giving you this video, but Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, on 4/5 April 5th this year just turned 48 years old. So paying attention to cryptocurrency during this Passover, during this Easter celebration time period, because we do know we have currently been in, well, we'll go to a different time frame, but currently been in an uptrend. On multiple charts, you can see this. The greatest one's probably right here. Just breaking out of some previous liquidity ranges that we've had some tough time getting back above. Recently just went through the full moon, so had some bearish energy. Right now, some choppy sideways consolidation that we've been seeing. Right now, stuck into an order book range where we have got a lot of sell wall pressure coming in, trying to get back above this, what appears to be a ceiling, but was a previous floor going back in time. So very important. We're still approaching Easter, so I think tomorrow could be a pivotal point in the market. Not saying to the upside or to the downside, just saying let's pay attention as we continue to pass through the Passover and Easter and a lot of other astrological events that are going to be happening this month that we'll be talking about later in this video. So getting back to our decode on Easter, Eostre, I just see it to be a very powerful time period. This 73 that we've been getting in our decode, when we type out Easter Sunday, and when we type out Pascha, Easter, the Arabic, Latin, Greek word for Easter, it's tying us into that 73. We get a Nimrod, or again, Osiris, the ancient god of life, death, fertility, and rebirth. Okay, Osiris. Okay, so very important. But Nimrod right here, giving us that same 73 and 37 connection, ties us back into the Ishtar. Some people believe that this holiday is celebrated after the Mesopotamian god Ishtar and goddess the goddess Ishtar and the god Nimrod, but Ishtar being the goddess of fertility and sex. And some people believe you to be out there looking for Nimrod's cojones on Easter Sunday, again symbolizing where birth comes from, the phallus and the vesica piscis of both the male and the female. But this is also known as modern day Iraq and the Tower of Babel. Nimrod was the one who in Mesopotamia, modern day Iraq, built the Tower of Babel. So pretty important that we just make these connections. Again, Tower of Babel was in our decode right here with that 124 and that 52 during this time period, tying us into the land of Isis, Ra, and El, where the Passover is celebrated right now. So pretty important. We know that there is this color pink associated with Easter, and we just had the pink moon in April, and the pink moon is giving us that same 44, but it is also known as the egg moon, where Easter eggs come from. Okay, so Easter eggs giving us that same 43, which is the 14th prime number. Okay, pretty important because Bitcoin this year is 14 years old, or Osiris, who ruled for 28 years, was cut up into 14 pieces. So this 56 we're getting in Easter eggs ties us into tomorrow, 4/9. Okay, a day that adds up to 4 plus 9 plus 20 plus 23 adds up to 56 in numerology. So going to be paying attention to that, being 1 week 4 days since our hybrid solar eclipse, a rare phenomenon that only happens once every few times every century. So very important that we pay attention to this. This isn't a regular solar eclipse coming up from all my research. It's going to be a very rare phenomenon. So very important. But today, when I'm doing this decode, it's 12 days from the start of that, which is tying us back into Rabbit. Rabbit giving us that same 12 in numerology. So pretty important. The mirror of 21, tying us back into El, or Saturn, because we've done a lot of talking about Israel Isis, Ra, and El today, so that's saying 21. So pretty important. Just want to make this decode brief and thorough about this celebration of Eostre, Ostara, and Easter. It's a pretty important time period, again, associated with the birth and resurrection of Jesus Christ, which has nothing more to do with the winter solstice, because it's all about astrology or anatomy and human physiology. The Bible is written in parables and allegories. And this year, like every year, we will watch the sun, okay, the S-U-N, okay. Go and do your research on the lazy O, because it has then been translated to a S-O-N, and from, multiple hundreds of years of this Jesus character being a baby Eros, he all of a sudden turned into a man at the Council of Nicaea, where they give us this research on Easter. And we can see that on the Wikipedia page. I don't know if I have that pulled up anymore. But anyway, at the Council of Nicaea, where they gave us the picture of Caesar Borgia, the Pope's son, a man figure, as Jesus, well, we know that he turned into a man. Okay, but it used to be a baby for 400 plus or minus years. Okay, so anyways, the sun is actually the sun in the sky, the light bringer, the light bearer, Jesus, Lucifer, the duality of this realm. And it dies every year for 3 days and then is resurrected on December 24th and 5th, Jesus' birthday, they tell us. So very important that we just make these connections and remember to be illuminated and enlightened to the power of astrology and human anatomy, because you are the Jesus character, okay? You are the ascended master, the Christ within. The Greek word Christos, meaning Christ within. Something we've been teaching you here is become Neo, the one, okay? So very important. Alright, let's look over our notes, and let's talk a little bit more about this. April 17th, we have a rare chance to see Mercury in the sky, right before our next Mercury station in retrograde time period, which we know over the last year plus from our research tends to be, in these purple boxes, a very volatile time period, sometimes pretty choppy, leading into a pump and then a rollover. So we'll pay attention to that. But again, leading into our 69K top, we had a Mercury station in retrograde time period before hitting cell pressure and tops at 69K, and then right here at 66. Fell back into a Mercury station in retrograde, had a great bounce into a large ABC corrective wave, our first ever macro ABC corrective wave in now 14 years of Bitcoin history. Now, even though we were bullish back in this time period, making videos about seeing a possible 72K blow off top for cryptocurrency because Bitcoin equaled 72 using the code, we were also talking about how this could possibly be the first ever macro ABC corrective wave. Over a year plus now, we see this play out. But these Mercury station and retrograde time periods can be very volatile. Got a short pump during this time period, the rest it rolled over before rolling over again. This previous one back in January of early 2023, December of 22, we got this pump led to a choppy sideways consolidation and a low of closing the CME gap recently before pumping into this previous ceiling right now and consolidating for almost a month as we get ready to transition into Easter, the upcoming new moon and solar eclipse, the hybrid solar eclipse of this month, and the Queen's birthday on April 21st, the 111th day of the year. Bitcoin hit its top on a day that was 111, November 10th. It dropped to 0, you get the 111. So very important that we just pay attention to the signs and numbers, the synchronicity in the code. So let's see what happens as we approach this next Mercury station in retrograde time period and April 17th, where we get a rare chance to spot Mercury in the sky huge shout out to RC3 Moore, a fellow pioneer, for helping me find that connection there. April 16th will be the end of our cherry blossom season. So it could be a pivotal time period in and around the 16th as well. Could we get a pullback as we get ready to watch the end of the cherry blossom season end? Who knows? We'll pay attention to that time period because major scripted events like the Titanic sinking, Waco bombing, the Notre Dame Cathedral fire, a lot of events that I've shared in a previous video have happened during the month of April, late April more than it is early April. So let's pay attention to this, okay? Even though we've seen the Trump arrestment and I probably should have said orange guy news early in this new Israel bombings, airstrikes, etc. news. I think it's just getting us ready to see a more bigger type of event, possibly this month, leading into May, or towards the end of the year. So let's stay vigilant and prepared, pioneers. So, all right. We've talked about the cherry blossom season, a rare chance to see Mercury station in retrograde, and we do know that we're about to exit out of Aries right on April 20th, our hybrid solar eclipse, which gives us the new traditional astrology symbol and time period of the bull. I'm a bull, a Taurus, born on April 26, about to turn 33 years old. That very powerful transmutaic point of life where water unfreezes at 33 degrees, the 33rd vertebrae symbolizing the pineal gland. Jesus prophesied for 33 years, so very important. But again, a lot of people may see this time period as a bullish aspect for the markets, but it's where I'm going to start to get bearish or cautious, because the more people that seem to associate with this to be a bullish time period in the markets, I'm going to be looking for potential to do the opposite of what the herd does, what the masses do. So as we approach this, I'm going to be paying very close attention to my portfolio, my investments, and possibly de-risking any upside move that we may get, because I do believe it's going to be short-lived. And I am open-minded to anybody else's found hard work and due diligence that could go against my ideas and methodology, because when we come together and merge our beliefs, sorry if you hear my cat, when we come together and merge our beliefs together, we can expand together. And we have to continue to live in the now moment and know the game so that we can't be played, pioneers, because it's easy to be played, but it's hard to convince someone that they've been played. Okay, we got to keep one foot in the matrix, one foot out, and we have to continue to stay aware of the emotions and distractions that run and control these markets. And that's how we become true investors and how we profit from the chaos that we are currently seeing and will see on the world stage, in finance, etc. Okay, so we got to keep open-minded and just be vigilant to any and everything that we could possibly see. So, a lot of people, they are unaware of the opportunities that we can take and to better ourselves. And that's something that I try and teach here, is stay away from the distractions. Don't have a life where you're waiting around to invest or you're waiting to de-risk. Start building a craft and a skill where you can start becoming fundamentally sound and successful in life. I'm just trying to be straight up. Create a business. You can't just wait bull run after bull run for something to happen with your investments or with your life. You can't keep continuing to miss out on these opportunities that have been given to us over the last several months, over the last few years. Okay? We've got to start acting and be true leaders and making decisions, okay, that are going to be, building a foundation for us to build our empire on. So very important. But let's continue to deep dive into this. Look at some technical analysis and maybe we'll get off of here. I wanted to do a quick short video. There's not going to be much to talk about until we see what happens with Bitcoin between tomorrow and I'm going to say the 12th and 13th throughout the rest of Passover. I had these very two pivotal points coming out of our bull flag, our bull pennant over the last few days on our 2-hour time frame. We had a fallout and then a rejection and then a break of support of this 2800 psychological range. We've been able to kind of maintain it, but are starting to re-break that right now. And we do know we're coming out of, again, the full moon, which is very important. We do know 3 to 5 days before, on, or 3 to 5 days after the full moon, we tend to get some bearish energy in the markets. So still wanting to hold this psychological 27K range, this 27.2 range as well. Very pivotal ranges of support that we do not want to see broken over the next few days. Can we swipe down below into these ranges easily and be bought right back up in a few candles? Yes, not a problem. This was a very large wick theory that we try and teach you to take advantage of and have limit orders hit so that you can get ready to de-risk again towards the top of our trading ranges. Okay, so very important. Some swing highs and swing lows, some open orders that we can see where we could get some volatility from. And right now we're holding support of a lot of open order book ranges in the top of this range. So again, we can easily swipe down and hit and liquidate or trigger some of these orders. Liquidate any longs for the time being. That's what I meant to say. So let's pay attention to that over the next few days as we pass through Passover and these very pivotal points through April where we tend to see the Columbine shooting or Virginia Tech shooting, the Waco massacre, the Titanic sinking, all kinds of events that cause disruption and distractions from us being able to succeed in life. So very important. So really it's just a hurry up and wait type of situation for cryptocurrency right now. We can look at this on the daily time frame and still see that we're still getting rejection from the top side of this, what we can call parallel channel. So an easy swipe down to about 25,200 is still in the cards, just previously testing the top side of this range. I don't think it's at the cards right now on the daily time frame because our exponential moving averages are the 223 and 322, which have been very crucial and important over the last year because this year is the 223 year, tying us into our favorite pals, Skull and Bones. So I find them to be very, very crucial this year. We could easily swipe down on the daily time frame to about, I would say, as low as 2,300. Do I think that's going to happen? Not right now. I think we're going to continue in an upward momentum. So let's see. Anything can happen. Again, we're above our previous liquidity range that goes back, I guess we'll have to go on the 5-day time frame. Oh no. Yeah, that's it. But it's a range that we haven't been able to get above. So now that we're above it, we're hitting the ceiling and can easily pop into the 0.5 fib around, I'm going to say 31,300, 31,400, 30,000, 31,000 psychological, not bad ranges as well. But right there at around that 3.14 tying us into pi, the mathematical constant, before we possibly break even higher into around 32,200, 33k. Pretty big ranges. Got that right here, just showing us a possible $32,200 Bitcoin, a 321 go, okay, in the 223 year. So let's see if we can do that. Another de-risking opportunity, because let's not get greedy, okay? We have a corrective wave, we're going to have an impulsive wave, and this is an automatic rally, something we've been talking about in Wyckoff reaccumulation for quite some time. And I don't have that chart pulled up, but I'll pull it up. Oh, no. Wonder which one it was on. Not that one. Either way, we are entering what is considered to be, after a buying climax, a selling climax, and an automatic rally that usually leads to either a higher low, a bottom, a double bottom, or a lower low in structure over time before a repeat of the cycle, something we've been sharing with you adamantly for quite some time. So, any and all bullish energy over the next couple weeks leading into May, mid May, we need to be taking advantage of and not following and FOMOing into the tops of these markets, okay? Something we want to keep you prepared for, to get ready to de-risk your portfolios, not financial advice, and get ready to reaccumulate any and all low structures we may be given. This market does one of two things. It goes up, it goes down, and then it does the boring thing. It goes sideways. We've went down, sideways, up. We're about to come back down and go sideways again, more than likely to the end of or mid next year for a lot of these cryptocurrencies and stocks. So let's continue to remember that. I know a lot of people are still very hyped on things like Ethereum that's completely, doing what we've expected it to do, to head towards 2000, head towards that 24, 25K, $2,500 range, or XRP, which is almost come back and retest that 47 cents that we thought it could. Didn't quite get there. It got to a low of 48 too, so, not surprising. Today's 482, so not surprising, I give you that. On this day, but we're heading right back to this possible resistance range. We get back above this 51, break 54, 58 cents again, we could easily see 62, 65 to 76 cents in the cards. All the way up to, I think, 86 to 90 cents, that 88. Very powerful ranges for potential volatility. That 86, 76 we get in Ripple, so let's remember that as well. Just right now holding some good structure on the small 2-hour time frames. I know we're setting lower highs, but showing this possible uptrend, setting higher lows. So pretty important. RSI doing the same thing as well. So showing a lot of confluence to why we're seeing this just consolidation, getting close to breaking out of this 51 cents, possible W pattern breakout that could take us to right there. We'll just do a measured move from high to low. We'll consider this to be our neckline of 51 cents, and easily take us right up to 56 cents. Could we do that tomorrow on Easter, a day that adds up to 56 in numerology? Let's pay attention to XRP tomorrow. So pretty important. Alright, we were looking at XRP. I know a lot of people, they're still hyped about Dogecoin. So we'll bring that up in today's episode and we'll speak about it. They were pretty hyped and it shot all the way up to 10 cents and they were just shouting it to the freaking moon, baby, 1000x, and since then it's had a pretty healthy pullback on the 2-hour time frame. We won't even lie. Down 21%, not surprising. See what happens when you try and buy the tops of green candles and FOMO in instead of buying the boredom and the blood in the streets for the last, when we look at this on the daily time frame, I mean, it got all the way back down to 4 cents. If you were accumulating 4 or 5, 6 cent Dogecoin plus or minus, de-risking these euphoric rallies to the upside over the last year, and then reaccumulating again, de-risking this uptrend that we've seen, which was from the recent low, 67, 70%, 68%, not surprising. It's just how you play the game and not get played by the game. Okay, the sentiment, the emotion in these markets that run these markets. So don't get caught up in the FOMO of fear of missing out. This right here, okay? That's the rocket ship. When you see a big green candle to the upside and everybody screaming 100K, 300K Bitcoin, you should start getting cautious. You should pull up some high-low ranges. You should pull up some indicators that we teach you here on the Daily Candle Close News for almost 3 years, how to prepare yourself to go against the herd that's going to get you wrecked. okay? So with all that being said, we're going to sign out of this short Easter video today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, Easter's on 4/9 tomorrow, and that's connecting us right back to our favorite pals of Skull and Bones, giving us that same 49, okay, that 149. It's tying us back into the Passover, which is practiced in Judaism, giving us that same 49. Some very powerful players on the world stage when it comes to finance and our economics. So very important. I think I've pretty much touched on everything that we need to touch on in this time period. Let's see if we can't break 29K tomorrow and get above this quote-unquote ceiling and turn it into a floor that we've seen on many charts that I've been sharing with you. Right here, let's see if we can't break the top side of this megaphone pattern and hit to around 30K, okay? 29, 30K, maybe 31.4, okay? Pi, or 32 even, okay? Again, tomorrow is Easter, tying us into Hermes, or the rabbit, okay? The 23. So Bitcoin, we know, gives us that 23 as well. Judaism gives us 23. Mercury, the god of commerce, gives us 23. Bitcoin, giving us that same 23. So let's pay attention. Gotta put the T in there, John. So anyways, with all that being said, let's see what happens tomorrow on this national celebrated holiday all around the world, no matter how you celebrate it. So with that being said, take care and God bless. Pioneers rise. Build your fortress and build your legacy. This one is going to end at 223 in the 223 years. So we're going to hang out another 1 minute because it's 2:22 p.m. And we're going to use the numbers against us because that's order out of chaos, which we might see on 4/9 tomorrow. Remember that, okay? Any kind of chaos and volatility in the world. Order out of chaos, the elite's favorite motto, giving us that 222. And, you know, we're in the 223 year. So I'm just trying to teach you that you are Jesus Christ, giving us that same 223. That 74, because all you are a celestial light being. You are energy, and energy can never be created nor destroyed. And this is just occult knowledge that they keep hidden from you. Occult meaning hidden, okay? Occult, giving us that same 74, okay? It all ties us back to Saturn and the hexagon. Father Time, giving us that same 74, that 115, tying us into the light bringer, Lucifer. So with that being said, you guys, take care and God bless. Pioneers rise, build your fortress and build your legacy.